year 7 and 8. You grab your material and you fold it in about halfway, roughly. Okay? Now what we do is we grab our template for our tote bag, and this is folded in half. As you can see, it's not directly to the edge. That's fine. What we're trying to do is eliminate the amount of work you're doing. So what we do, on the template it says on the fold here. Now, but really, it doesn't actually matter. What we want to do is keep moving the material back until it's the same length as the bag. So here is the distance of the bag, or of the template. And I'm folding it to make sure that there is an edging creased here, as you can see. Going one down and on the edge. Once we do this, we pin. We grab your pins, the ones that you would have purchased yourself from Linkcraft, and we put a few pins around the template. Now make sure when you jab the needle, your fingers are away from where you jab, and you don't go straight to the edge, because that's where we're going to cut. So what I'm going to do in front of you is I'm going to pin, and you would put two more in the middle so it doesn't move. I'll just show you now. If it moves, you need to keep adjusting it and make sure the back of it, the back fabric, because we folded it in half, it's flat. This avoids us. If we're going to cut around it, we've avoided now cutting this edge. Because the more cuts we do, the more likely we're going to cut it not straight. There we go. You can put as many as you like. I've put on each corner and one in the middle up the top, but my suggestion is put in the middle as well. Now what we do is we grab our fabric scissors. The pink ones are the heavy duty ones. And we cut down the edging. As you can see, I'm going to cut straight on the edge. I'm not going to cut the top layer. I'm only going to cut the bottom layer. You cut as straight as possible. So the first cut I did, I only cut one layer off. Why? Because it's straight on the edge. And then I'm going to cut the other. Make sure you hold it tight, because we don't want, as you cut, you may take out the pins. We don't want any mishap when we cut. Watch out for your fingers with the needles. Make sure you cut as straight as possible, not cutting the paper. Take off all the needles in your template. Make sure you put them back in your container due to safety. Follow me as you see me. Okay, there we go. Now we're done with this. Now you may pass your template to your friend, or you may throw it away. It's fine. Okay. So there we go. Here is our first template. Here's our tote bag. So our tote bag is going to look like this when we carry it. It's going to look like this. So here's piece number one. The second template that we have installed to make our tote bag is your teacher will give you a piece of paper. similar to our first template, and you are required to cut out a 9 centimeter width by the length of the butcher's paper, which will probably be 45 centimeters. If it's longer or shorter, it doesn't matter. You need 2 pieces. The first piece that I'd like you to do is place it on top of, similarly to our first piece. I'd like you to fold this piece that you have out of your 1 square meter that you purchased from Spotlight or Lincraft. You fold it in half. The amount of fold that you fold it is 9 centimeters. So if it's a little bit more, that's okay. If it's a little bit less, that's okay. Roughly 9, but try to be consistent. So here's my 9 centimeters. Do you notice how my edge that I cut is not straight? That's okay, because that is going to be hidden in our straps when we start to make our straps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin, as you can see, I fold it in half. I'm going to pin a few pins on, one on the bottom, not on the edge though, about 1 centimeter away from the edge. My first template of my strap. Now I grab my ruler and I measure the length of my first piece. Currently, there's 30 centimeters and there is 15. That's 45 centimeters. My strap, as per your booklet, needs to be 75 centimeters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my tape measure and I'm going to place it on the edge and mark out where 75 centimeters will be. And 75 centimeters ends up here. 75 centimeters. So I'm going to make sure my fabric is straight as possible. I'm going to grab my second 9 centimeter width, and what I'm going to do, place it on top until I reach from 1 to 75 centimeters. Place it as straight as possible, the same width, 75 centimeters. Perfect. I'm going to grab my pin it on the edge. Watch out for your fingers. So there's my first pin. And now I'm going to pin one of the edges or over here. Okay. So there we go. Do you notice how my cut is not straight? That's fine. It'll get hidden when I decide to cut it. But try to be as consistent as possible with the 9 centimeters. Now, I grab my fabric scissors and I cut. I noticed that if you do little cuts, you cut a better straight edge rather than trying to jab the scissors and moving the fabric. So the less movement, the better in your assignment. When I cut this side of the fabric, remember, because I folded it, I only need to cut one fabric, one layer, not 2. Okay, there we go. Now, remember, this is 2 straps. Why? Because it's folded in half. What I'm going to do now is continue with my fabric scissors, and as I go halfway in the middle of the crease here with my fabric scissors, there is a reason why I didn't put pins on this edge, is because I don't want the scissors to be stuck on a needle. And I am going to cut as straight as possible, cutting the fabric in half. You can either go on the side like this, it's up to you. There we go. Now, here are, once I take out my pins, here are my both pieces of fabric. 2 pieces.